Yo, yo, yo. Good morning. This is my gigantic calendar that I haven't filled in. All right. Where to start? First of all, good morning, 7 a.m. I took yesterday off. I just needed a little bit of a recharge day. Intuitively guided. Everything that I do is almost entirely intuitively guided. I like to track the Mayan horoscope. We are in White Spectral Dog. I dissolve in order to love, releasing loyalty. I seal the process of heart with the spectral tone of liberation. I am guided by my own power doubled. I am a polar kin. I transport the white galactic spectrum. I am a galactic activation portal. Enter me. Okay, well, you can see here, this is the Zolkin, and anytime it's a shaded color, it's a galactic portal, and then I guess this inner circle right here is a polar kin. Wow. All right, what does that mean? Spectral means day 10 of 13, and then dog means the white dog code. So if you look here, this is the wave spell of the yellow sun. So day 1, actually no, it's day 11, 12, 13, right? And then it starts a new wave spell. So there's going to be 20 wave spells every Zolkin. Each sign gets its own wave spell, basically. And then each sign will be a different number in the other sign's wave spell, And since there's 20 signs and only 13 tones, it's going to usually be every other. So I like to track these codes because my energy changes literally daily. I don't even know what my energy is going to feel like until I wake up in the morning. And then I tune into kind of the energy of the day, and then that sets the tone for my entire day, basically. However, I have to say, every day is pretty much the same for me. I'm grinding. I woke up to another new member. I love that. That's a nice feeling. I don't know where they're finding me, probably Discovery rank. So welcome, guys. We're already at 47. All right. I think this may be a longer video because I think there's just some pertinent information to discuss. I haven't taken a shower yet, so still wearing the same color. But okay. For white dog, the dog code is there's 5 white codes. I am a white code actually. I am very curious what your Mayan horoscope is. All you have to do is just type in the birthday. All I have to do is just put in your birthday and it'll tell you. Then I would know how old you are. Ooh. But yeah, so the white dog to me is a friendship code. White dog, like Goose reminds me of a white dog. I don't know what his code is, but white dogs like really just love people and they really love like being around people. I'm kind of an introvert. I don't know how you could be living with like 4 dudes, in the same house. Like, man, I want to be alone. Oh my god, I don't think I could do that. Not like semi-permanently. Oh, I don't really like having roommates, man. I like living by myself. Even if I have a girlfriend, I'm like, oh, do you really have to spend the night tonight? Like, can you sleep in the other room? Like, it's nothing personal. It's just I like to be like alone in my own aura. So, not sure how I'm ever gonna find a soulmate because I'm like, I don't even want to be around anyone right now. It's not you. It's like everybody. And look at this little kitty. Oh, that monkey. And look here, a wild Minnie has appeared. And look at this little rascal. You are meowing too early. She starts meowing outside my door at 5:30. I said, honey, you're 30 minutes early, okay? You can start meowing at 6. 5:30 is a bit too early. So, because of the dog code energy, I think it's important for me to just continuously drive the focus. I really think that's what I'm here to do, guys, on school, in my group, and then even spiritually, as my spiritual kind of job. Like, everybody just gets tired, man. Like, I felt a heavy energy in my heart. I've been in my masculine chakras, just driving this thing. I have been consistent for the past fucking 30 days, really. I got the flame, but I have to say probably like 22 days. I literally started the community, like the first green box that you see. I've only been a green box for like 32 days. I took yesterday off, so it was really only the first 7 days, guys. Like, I just had a random picture of a beach, and I was just in Canva, you know, soul inspired. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought Goosify was just kind of weird, you know. You know, it's that trial period of like, I don't know what I'm doing on school, you know, just kind of joining random things, and then you're in like so many groups, and it's just like kind of boring, you know, like, you know. So I was not really going hard until like 22 days ago. So we've built all of this in just like 3 weeks. I think that's pretty phenomenal. I've had Facebook groups, but I never went this hard. I never went 100% on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. So now we're fine. I believe that this is divine timing, if I'm totally honest. Like, I think school has finally hit that level of fast growth. Like, a goose is hitting a level of really fast growth. You know, I think school is also hitting that level of really fast growth. I mean, we're still early, guys. Most groups do not even have 1,000 people in. So the faster that we build our groups now, you're going to have a huge advantage over everybody else who starts joining school over the next, you know, couple years. Now is the time to really go hard, go fast, guys. Because the faster you can hit 1,000, the faster we can hit 5,000, the faster we can hit 10,000. I have not seen very many groups that have more than 10,000 members, if I'm totally honest. I'll actually do a discovery. I may spend a little bit of time and then re-scrub the discovery list, because I don't think most groups even have 10,000 members. So that will be interesting. Out of the 9,000 groups on discovery, or we just go 1,000 back on total, how many of those 1,000 groups actually have more than 10,000 members? And then how many are between 1,000 and 999? How many are less than 999? That would be interesting. How many are less than 100? Are any of them less than 100? So speed is the name of the game, guys. And I'm just going to continuously be pushing this energy. Half of the energy that I felt in my heart chakra yesterday, I wore like green, and I was just kind of like, you know, purifying the energy. Like, half of what I felt, I'm going to be totally honest, guys, is just laziness. And I'm not saying it's you. I'm saying it's just everything that I'm doing on school, every person that I'm talking to. Half of it is just fucking laziness, you know? You just don't want to actually work hard. I can't really fix that. I can't really help someone with that. You know, if you don't want to actually fucking go for it, then you're never going to achieve success in anything in your life. You know, it's the slacker vibes. Half of the world, more than half of the world actually, half on school. School is actually a lot more focused. You know, probably 80% of Facebook is just slacker vibes. You know, maybe even 90% on Facebook is just slacker vibes. They're never going to do anything, man. 50% of school, you know, so it's better, but it's still. Half the people on here are just, I don't want to say lazy, but, you know, it's like, dude, have you ever went for anything in your life ever before? Have you ever pushed yourself to the limit? Probably never. I'm not just a business coach, guys. I'm also an energy coach. I'm a performance coach. Like, I am able to run my energy literally 14, sometimes 15 or 16 hours a day. Just depends on if I go to the gym or not, you know? Realistically, I say it's about 14 hours because, you know, I wind down for like an hour. Maybe I go to the gym. So realistically, you know, 13, 14 hours is probably max in a day. But it's like, have you ever pushed yourself to max? And then I don't know if you need 1 or 2 days off. I mean, me personally, I don't really plan things and I don't really schedule things because I don't really know how I'm going to feel until I wake up the next morning. I literally don't, because like I'm such an empath. I'm a projector in human design. I'm a white mirror. I'll explain to you what white mirror is because I'm on this kind of Mayan kind of wave, but I unify in order to reflect, attracting order. I seal the matrix of endlessness with the magnetic tone of purpose. I am guided by my own power double. So the mirror reflects infinite, endless order, radiating out from each center in never-ending perfection. I'm a perfectionist. You know, by focusing with this multi-dimensional reflection, we can see all of our aspects. I am really good at reading somebody. We can become our own reflections. That's why I always keep talking about the dream, and I always keep talking about inspiration, because that's literally what I live for. I live for the perfection of life. But what's a perfect life, man? Having total time freedom, having total location freedom, being rich on the internet, and now people just like love you and follow you, and you just get paid to help people. Isn't that the fucking best life you could ever have? That's the best life you could ever have, guys. You got to remember that. You know, together we can reflect infinitely. Together we can become a mirror for the universe's infinity. Do not be afraid to look in the mirror. There is no judgment in its reflection. This is the mirror of endless possibilities. If you do not like what you see, you just have to look again. I think people know that I reflect people, and I think that people know that I can look directly into their soul. Like, several people have told me, like, dude, it's like you're penetrating into my soul right now. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you know, I don't mean to. I can't help it. You know, even when I take selfies, it's like my eyes are like, I don't know, like it's like I take in the energy of their entire like aura, and it's like I can scan their energy. So anyways, you know, the negative side of the mirror is they're too critical. You know, the mirror can see the imperfections and the flaws, you know, and like, since I'm a projector and a mirror, you know, we'll just stack what these, you know, new age kind of definitions of me based on my birth chart. But it's like, I can tune into the energy, and then I can make it better, and then I can tell you what I can probably tell you exactly what the weakness is in your chain right now. The weakness, I'm also just projecting all of school. I'm also just reflecting all of school, like the entire platform. The entire platform, guys, you just really need to go for it. You don't realize how much of an opportunity that you have right now, because it's still pretty early. The people that have success right now have been on for only maybe like 2 years. You know, that's it. And, you know, I think actually now is a better time than 2 years ago, because 2 years ago there was like hardly anybody on school. So now is the perfect time. I really believe that. That's not a sales pitch. Now is the perfect time to get into this, because over the next 2 to 4 years, it's going to get way bigger. So wouldn't you rather have a big following now, so that in 2 years you're ready to collect all the new people? My intuition told me to do business coaching a few years ago, but then I started a second business because I just wanted to like have more like street credibility. I wanted to actually build an actual business, a second one, and just prove to myself, like, you know what you're doing. I did it mostly for myself, like prove that you know how to generate business, prove that you know how to get leads, and you have to really get good at marketing now. So I did that. And then now my intuition is like, it's time to come back to coaching. So I needed to go through all of that. And I think now is the best time to do coaching on school. I really mean it, guys. So as I'm projecting the entire platform, I'm sometimes projecting you guys in my group. Sometimes I'm just projecting the world, honestly, the entire world. You got to have a reason to do this, you know? That reason has to be so powerful and aligned. My entire spirit body is aligned. Every single chakra is aligned to this. That's why I'm able to go 14 hours a day, nonstop. Sometimes 6-7 days in a week. I take a day off or I rest whenever I feel like I need to, but I prefer to not. I would rather not. If I didn't feel tired or if I didn't feel burnt out, I would keep going indefinitely. Okay, until we get that rocket ship, and I'm not gonna stop at rocket. I believe I deserve a crown, level income for how hard I'm working, and I believe that I'll hit diamond as I build followings on all the other platforms. I think it just comes kind of with the territory, if I'm totally honest. Okay, so now we've got all that out of my system. Every morning I kind of like have to process down the energy. Like I took yesterday off and I still got 200 notifications. I wish there was an option to just, clear the all the likes, because I don't even really read those anyways. Like people just, whoever likes your thing, like, I don't know. There'd be a nice way to just clear all likes. I still have 70 notifications, probably like 40 or 50 of them are like responses and comments, and then probably like 20 of them are like people that I follow's posts. So, all right, anyways, the last thing I'll say, now we'll conclude the video. What we need to tune in today, in my honest opinion, is really tune into like, why are you doing this? Like, you have to have an emotional reason that drives you when you feel like tired and lazy and like procrastinating and I don't want to do this. Like Benjamin is basically saying my job is to go through a shit ton of posts, and that seems exhausting and it may make me feel burnt out. It's like, bro, this is literally how you master organic marketing. If you're not doing this on Skool, you're doing this on any other platform. It doesn't matter if it's on Skool or not. It just depends on what your offer is. But all you can do is make listings, put up flyers, put up bulletins, run ads in your local area, or go to coffee shops, put up posters and flyers. It just depends. If you're a music or language coach or tutor, then you might succeed with like flyer campaigns. Go to every single coffee shop, go to every place there's bulletin boards. Many apartment complexes have an area where they let you put up like little posters. I have a lamination machine. If it's not an 8x11, sheet of paper, you can cut that in half, right? And then it'll be 8x5.5. Those are really good size little posters. Honest to God, a flyer campaign may be very good for you, depending on what it is that you coach on. For me, because so many people want business advice, I don't have to really do that as much. So, in conclusion, people really want to know, how are you going to make me money in 30 to 60 days? How are you going to get me a client in 30 to 60 days? By being in Benjamin's group, by being in this group, how are you actually going to do it? The secret to money and success, you guys, is almost entirely magnetic, and I believe the color is red. The people who do the best in life, who make the most money, who have the most followers, are oftentimes just spending more time in the color red. It magnetizes it in. It pulls it in. It's the roots. The roots got to keep growing deeper and deeper and deeper. Every single industry, a new business, you got to dig into that industry. You got to dig into the market. You got to dig into Skool. I have already gone through more posts than probably 90% of people on Skool have ever done already in less than a month. People who already have a lot of followers and people who have big groups like on Facebook, they don't have to do that because they already have a traffic source. But what happens when you run out of traffic? You got to get more traffic from your posts and then from digging through comments. That's all you can do, or stories. All you can do is try to build new relationships. You can add people on Facebook, and you can try to post in Facebook groups. In my opinion, 80-90% of people on Facebook are lazy and like totally tapped out. And then you have to convince them to go to Skool. That's a lot of work. I think you can get the vast majority of traffic from Skool itself. They're already on Skool. Maybe they've already used their credit card and bought stuff on Skool. I have. So it's so easy to buy someone's stuff on Skool because it already saved my card information. All I have to do is click a button in the classroom and then boom, it'll send you the money. So it's just there's no resistance when they're already on school. Okay. And then finally, like, every day you're trying to find people that you would resonate with, you know. Might just like froze my screen. I don't know why I did that. Every day you're trying to find people that you resonate with. You know, for me, that seems to be only about 10% of people. Not even 20%, only about 10% of posts. So you're trying to screen and find that 10% faster. If I could ever have AI or tech, I would program it to show me those 10% of people faster and mute all the people that I don't want to see. You know, maybe you're wrong. Maybe you think, oh, I probably wouldn't vibe with this person. Maybe you're wrong. Maybe you would eventually. But you start with the top 10% first. That's the first pass. So once you've gone through an entire group on school, all of the posts, and you did your first pass, you know, then you decide, do I want to go back through it again, or do I just want to go to another group? This is all you can do on school. I know it sounds like a lot of work, and this is where it separates the winners from the losers. Because lazy people are like, oh, I just don't want to do that. Yeah, you don't want to do anything. That's why you've never done anything in your life. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to say to a lazy person? Nothing. I'm sorry, I can't help a lazy person. Even if a lazy person hires me, I'll give you a little bit of my energy, but it's like they're never going to actually do anything. And then, like, if I'm not motivating them, then they're just going to give up anyways. So, you know, like, yeah, sure, I'll coach a lazy person, help a lazy person out, but it's highly unlikely that they're ever going to actually do anything, you know, unless you need someone like me. Say, listen, we can meet once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week. You send me $2,000, I'm going to give you 20 hours, maybe 25 hours, you know, okay, and of my time, and then you decide, do you want how do you want it weekly, or do you want a lot of it up front? You know, how long does it take for you to develop a habit? It usually takes about 60 days to develop a habit. Can you get a client in 60 days? I think you can. First, we'll go through your warm market. Are there any leads that you've been working on that I can help you close? That's the easiest way to make your next sale in 60 days. That you may make the next sale in 3 days. You know, is there anyone that you already have in your warm market? And then what's the price point? You know, what have you guys talked about? That's the fastest way to get your next sale. Okay, then anybody in your group? Have you talked to every single person in your group? No, not yet. Okay, well, every person in your group is a lead. You know, you can at least message them eventually after a while. Okay, and then if the people in your group are not a lead, can they recommend people? You should always ask your warm list for referrals, because you never know. Maybe if I've got 100 people in my group, maybe I could get 20 to 50 referrals from those 100. So the question is, hey, you know, just wondering if you, like, I'm not going to say this to any of you guys, but it would be something along the line. Like, if you've never talked, this would not be the first thing to send them. But if you have been talking for a while, hey, just checking in with you, you know, have you been in the market for, you know, XYZ, you know, and if not, who do you know who might be someone I could talk to? I'm just trying to hit my numbers, you know, or whatever. I'm just trying to hit my goal for the month, you know. You know, if you're not going to be a customer, could you refer anybody to be a customer? And, you know, that may be awkward and uncomfortable, but it's like, dude, this is how you make money. You got to actually try. You got to actually ask people for money, you know? And then finally, if we've gone through our entire group and our entire warm market and we already asked for referrals, that's the first thing that you do. Just activate all of your warm network. I'll tell you how to talk to them. Most of the time, people need me to help them, like, what do you actually say in the message? I'll give you a script. I'll come up with custom scripts for you when you hire me. And then the last thing is, we got to have your content strategy and your daily outreach strategy, okay? Like, I really do believe you can get your next client within 30 to 60 days if you're really focused, if you give this everything that you've got. It may even be able to do it much faster than that if you've got a warm network and if you haven't yet gone through all the people in your group, right? Your Facebook friends list, your Instagram followers, you know, your YouTube subscribers, your TikTok followers. You know, you never know. You might as well message all of them. That's where we would start, okay? But then what do I say? And then how do I get them on a call? And then how do I close them? That's why you hire me, guys. That's what you pay me for. Anyways, I hope you have an amazing and productive day today. Let's do our very best, you know. I still have about like 4,000, 5,000 Goosify posts I haven't gone through. It's worth going through because I've gotten so many people in my group from Goosify. That's my number one place of new members. Then I'm still going through a group called School Speedrun. Those are my two favorite groups. I'm still going through this kind of networking advertiser community group. And then, you know, if you think that it's a resonating person, go ahead and join their group. Because if you resonate with them, you're probably going to resonate with people that they resonate with. And you're not taking their traffic. You're trying to network with them, and we can both give each other even more traffic together, guys. That's what a mastermind is. Hop on a mastermind call with me as well. That's not me pitching you my business, that's me. Let's look at all the groups that you're in, and we'll look at all the groups that I'm in, and we'll talk about your ideal client, your ideal person. Like, what are the kind of people that you're into the most? Who do you usually sell to? You know, if we look at all of your best friends in your life, you know, was it a similar kind of personality? You know, that's doing like an ICA kind of deep dive on your ideal client avatar. I'll do that with you on a mastermind call for free. If you have not yet done a mastermind call with me, I'm willing to do it with anybody in my group. You know, 15 to 30 minutes. We just hop on a hangout call. I can record it, and then it makes content for us, or I don't have to record it. You know, but it's good to be in the habit of doing calls every day. So I've got, you know, some time in my schedule, do some mastermind calls as well. All right, guys, let me know what you're working on today. Does any of this resonate with you? You just got to get focused, man, and you just got to fucking go for it, dude. No more excuses. Stop making fucking excuses. And, you know, you need to develop stamina. Most people just don't know how to work hard, you know. They just never really push themselves to like their full potential, you know. So it's going to take a while for you to also just increase your productivity. My productivity is basically at a maximum, guys. My productivity is basically level 100 out of level 100. It's max. That's why I'm able to go so hard every day. So sometimes we also have to increase our performance. Maybe you've only been performing at like 68% of your max. Bro, you're missing out 32% every single day, every single week. You have 32% that you haven't even activated. So let's activate that 100%, guys. See you later.